Folks, in my 20 years inside the league, scouting, evaluating, negotiating, I've never seen anything like this. What's unfolding right now is not just a typical offseason rumor, it's an orchestrated masterstroke that could shake NFL power dynamics to their core. I'm talking about a seismic shift, a move so audacious that its ripple effect will be felt across the league from East Coast to West, from the Superdome to SoFi Stadium. And here's the kicker: what's happening behind the scenes is even more incredible than what anyone outside the war rooms can imagine. This isn't just about a player, a team, or a season, it's about rewriting the future of a franchise with one swift, calculated blow. And I guarantee you, the more we peel back the layers, the more you'll realize, this is just the beginning. Something huge is brewing, something dark, something intricate, and I've got the inside intel to prove it. But before I reveal the full picture, I need your full attention. If you want to be in the know, if you want to see what the insiders are whispering about in those secret conference rooms, then smash that subscribe button, hit like, and ring the bell. Because what I'm about to drop is only for those who crave the truth, those who understand that in the NFL, secrets don't stay hidden for long. The story I'm about to tell could be the biggest blockbuster of the offseason, and if you're standing on the sidelines, you're going to miss the entire show. So, buckle up, because what's coming will blow your mind, and it's only just starting. Let's start with the team at the epicenter of this whirlwind, the New York Giants. As of today, January 30th, 2026, the Giants are not just a team in rebuild, they are a sleeping giant, a franchise at a crossroads. They're coming off a brutal 4-13 season that exposed every fault line in their roster and their infrastructure. Head coach Brian Daboll, who brought a spark in 2022 and 2023, was unceremoniously fired in November after a disastrous start, 2-8. That was the moment the organization decided enough was enough. The search for a new leader began immediately, and after a frantic, high-stakes process that involved interviews with multiple top-tier candidates, they settled on none other than John Harbaugh. Yes, the same Harbaugh who just turned Baltimore into a defensive juggernaut, a Super Bowl-winning mastermind, and one of the most respected coaches in the league. Why Harbaugh? Because the Giants know they need a culture reset. They need a coach who commands respect, who can develop young talent, and most importantly, who can instill a winning mentality that's been absent since the Eli Manning era. Harbaugh's hire is not just a coaching change, it's a declaration of war against mediocrity. He's the ideal architect to rebuild their offense and defense from the ground up if given the right pieces. And that's where the story gets interesting. Because if you think the Giants are just hiring a coach and turning the page, you're missing the forest for the trees. Behind the scenes, there's a quiet war happening: power plays, negotiations, deals that could shake up the entire league, and at the center of it all is a very specific player, Rashad Bateman. Yes, Rashad Bateman. The Ravens' former first-round pick, a wide receiver with promise, talent, and flashes of brilliance that have yet to be fully realized. But why Bateman? Because the Giants see him as the missing piece, a receiver who can instantly elevate their offense, add explosive playmaking, and give Jackson Dart, a young quarterback with tons of potential, a legitimate weapon downfield. The rumors have been swirling for months, but what's really happening now is far more clandestine than anyone dares to imagine. Let me give you the context. Bateman, as of January 30th, 2026, is still under contract with the Ravens. Signed just last June to a 3-year, $36.75 million extension, including $20 million guaranteed. He's tied to Baltimore through 2029. But don't be fooled. His relationship with the Ravens has been strained for months. His Instagram tirade, profane, raw, and direct, criticized his usage, the coaching staff, and most of all, GM Eric DeCosta. He's publicly aired his frustration about his role, targets, and opportunities, nothing new for a receiver hungry for respect and proven production. Yet behind the scenes, sources tell me there's a covert dance happening, one that involves covert meetings, whispered negotiations, and a potential blockbuster trade that could change everything. Why now? Because despite that hefty contract extension, Bateman's production in 2025 was underwhelming, just 19 receptions for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns, his lowest since his rookie year. The Ravens, who once believed he'd be a foundational piece, are now contemplating a radical move to cash in on his perceived value before the NFL draft. With the franchise eyeing a reload, especially at receiver with emerging talents like Zay Flowers, emerging rookies, and a revamped offense, their patience with Bateman, despite their loyalty, has worn thin. And the Giants? They're poised to strike. The league buzz is that NYG has been in secret talks with Baltimore for weeks. Sources close to the Giants whisper of a strategic plan that could include not just a straight-up trade, but a package involving draft picks, young players, and perhaps even financial incentives to make the deal swallowable for Baltimore. The goal? To land Bateman at a cost far below what the Ravens might want if they wait till the draft or the offseason's final weeks. Now, how would this trade work? The Giants, known for their aggressive maneuvering in recent years, especially under SCHOEN, are prepared to offer a combination of draft picks, maybe a future second-rounder this year, and potentially a young defensive player or a promising offensive lineman to sweeten the deal. Baltimore's front office, which is under pressure to rebuild quickly after a disappointing 2025, wants to maximize value. They see Bateman, despite his recent struggles, as a potential star in the right environment. And the mechanics? It's complex. The Ravens would have to navigate salary cap gymnastics, as Bateman's current deal, though sizable, could be restructured to facilitate the trade. The Giants, on the other hand, are sitting on a decent amount of cap space, projected around $25 to $30 million, and are prepared to make the numbers work. The key is the timing. If this trade happens before the draft, it can set the stage for a major selection, perhaps a top-tier receiver or offensive lineman, to come in immediately and boost Dart's development. But why would Baltimore want to trade Bateman now? That's the million-dollar question. The truth is, during the negotiation process, sources say they are frustrated with his inability to stay healthy and produce consistently. They see potential, but also a risk, one that could cost them a playoff push if they hang on to him longer. Moreover, with the rise of Zay Flowers and other young talent like Tylan Wallace, the Ravens believe their offense can function without Bateman, especially if they acquire a proven veteran or draft a top receiver early. It's a gamble, certainly, but one that the Ravens seem willing to take. They're eyeing the future, and Bateman's trade value is at a peak right now. The Ravens front office has always been shrewd. Remember when they traded away Hollywood Brown, and they're prepared to do it again, especially if it means reshaping their roster to fit new offensive strategies. The Giants? They're not just passively waiting. They've already assembled a detailed dossier, an inside look at Bateman's film, his advanced analytics, his medical history, and even psychological assessments to gauge his motivation and resilience. They see him as a perfect fit, an explosive route runner with the speed to threaten defenses deep, a red zone threat with a knack for contested catches, and most importantly, a player whose star power can elevate their entire offense. From a technical standpoint, Bateman's skills are elite. His release off the line is quick, his route tree expanding, his footwork precise. His 2024 season, where he amassed 45 receptions for 756 yards and 9 touchdowns, is proof of his ceiling. Advanced metrics paint him as a top 15 receiver in yards per route run and separated at the catch point more often than not. His yards after catch, YAC, ability is underrated, a critical factor in today's NFL. If he slots into Brian Daboll's offense, with Jackson Dart's arm strength and improvisational ability, he could explode for 1,000-plus yards, 8-plus touchdowns, and become a focal point. But what about the downside? Well, injuries and inconsistency are real concerns. If Bateman doesn't regain his 2024 form, the Giants could be stuck with a high-priced, disgruntled player who doesn't produce. Plus, the chemistry needs to be right. Dart needs a reliable target, and if Bateman's ego becomes an issue, the whole dynamic could backfire. Still, the strategic fit is undeniable. Coach Harbaugh's emphasis on explosive offense, his experience with receivers like Torrey Smith and Marquise Brown, and his proven ability to get the best out of athletic skill players make him the perfect orchestrator for this move. Now, timing is everything. If I'm right, and I believe I am, this trade could happen as soon as the NFL Combine or Draft Week. The NFL insiders are whispering about a blockbuster deal that will reshape the top of the draft, impact rookie stock, and send shockwaves through the league. The Ravens want to maximize value in what they see as a transitional year. The Giants see Bateman as that missing piece to turn their offense around and bring legitimacy back to the NFC East. Keep your eyes on Baltimore's front office, on the player's Instagram posts, because his cryptic updates hint at something brewing, and on the whispers you hear from your contacts. This isn't just a rumor, it's a carefully constructed chess move. And mark my words, in a matter of weeks, you'll see this story unfold, an epic saga where a player and a franchise rewrite their destinies. But hold on, there's more. Because what I've just revealed is only part of the puzzle. The real secret behind this trade is the hidden agenda, something bigger, something darker, something only a handful of insiders understand. And I promise, once you grasp the full scope, you'll never look at NFL trades the same way again. So now, I turn it over to you. Are you ready for the truth? Are you prepared for the moment when everything changes? Because what I'm about to tell you next is the real reason this move is happening, and it goes far beyond any star receiver. It's about legacy, power, and a game played in the shadows. And trust me, you want to stay tuned, because the best is yet to come.